In our series of pre-election interviews, we turn to the race for state representative in the 12th Suffolk district. The district includes the Lower Mills, Cedar Grove, and Ashmont areas of Dorchester, along with precincts around Mattapan Square. We'd like to welcome one of the Democratic challengers in the primary on September 8th, Jovan Lacet. Thank you very much for being with us.
How you doing, Chris? Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you for coming on again. Talk about why you want to run for this seat.
Well, let me extend that district a little further than what you said. It covers Mattapan, about 70% of Mattapan, about a fourth of Dorchester, about 70% of Hyde Park, and precinct 1 and 2 in Milton, and about a little small section in Rosendale. So it's a pretty big district of over 40-something thousand registered voters. And to answer your question now, first of all, my name is Jovan Lacet. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran, former Boston police officer, and a 19-year practicing attorney. The only practicing attorney on the race, also the only veteran. Sometimes, when I'm getting the coverage, for whatever reason, people don't talk about my veteran status.
You're in the Marines, right?
Yes, I'm a Marine. I was in the Marines. It's very important because I did 4.5 years in the military. And did a number of things. Some things I can discuss, some things I cannot discuss, as you know. And after that, it was after the Marines, I came out and went to college, then law school, and became an attorney, practicing attorney. And I did a lot of, during that period of time, I did a lot of work working with at-risk youth when I was in college, as well as when I was in law school. Then eventually when I graduated from law school, started, raising a family, bought a home in Mattapan, where I've lived for 37 years in the 12th Suffolk district, part of Mattapan. Out of the 45 years I lived in Mattapan and Dorchester. During this time living in the district, I can tell you I've attended many, the reason I'm running is because, I've attended many civic association meetings, as well as many city hall meetings and state house meetings. And, normally the constituents, a lot of times the constituents want certain things done or don't want certain things. And many of these incumbents, especially this particular incumbent, vote otherwise. So when this election came up, I received many calls, many texts, and this was in April, when they noticed, who was running against them. And folks called me, texted me and said, Jovan, you have to run. You're a good voice for the community. The 12th Suffolk needs a voice. We really don't have a voice in the 12th Suffolk to truly advocate for the needs of the people.
Well, give me an example of whether it's about a vote in the State House or just the way you might point your leadership hand. If you were a state rep, talk about what you would do differently. Is there something that happened recently where it seemed that the incumbent was going one way and you would have gone a different way?
Definitely. I live on Cedar Street, which is off River Street. We have, not too far from me, we have on this park called Ryan Playground. Ryan Playground is about, 1 block away from the Foley building, which everybody in Mattapan, Dorchester, Hyde Park area are familiar with. It's in Mattapan. Right, exactly. What everybody calls the old Quantica Hospital. And right in the building on that ground, the mayor put a rehab program, drug rehab program, where people come from prison, directly from prison, right into that location. And the resident of that area, they play in that area, they play outside in front of the Foley building. Every day they're there. And we have a lot of kids who walk by themselves, like my children, my 2 little girls do, by themselves from the house to the playground. And the community, who didn't even know that this project was coming to the area location, when we found out, we had a community meeting, and 99% of the community said they were against it. Yes, we need such a program, but not close to the Ryan Playground. And the mayor wanted it. Since the mayor wanted it, although the constituents didn't want it, 99% of the constituents did not want it, the current incumbent said he trusts the mayor, and he supported the mayor on so many projects. I mean, Mattapan, as you know, Mattapan, Dorchester, Hyde Park, small place. We have many small houses. Under the mayor's project to build, they've been building a lot of
transit-oriented development, right?
Exactly. All these big complexes.
You don't like what they're going to be doing in Mattapan Square and
First of all,
Cummins Highway?
We don't have a say. It's not so much we don't like it. We want to have a say. Sometimes some of it we do not like. Okay, Regis Road, nothing but 2-family houses and single families on that home. They're building about 4 multi-complexes units, about anywhere from 18 in the corner of Cummings Highway and Regis Road, gonna be at least 30 units in there. And the one on Regis Road and Cummings Highway at the corner, maybe that's okay. But on Regis Road itself, where they already have a parking problem, no, it's not okay. Especially when the residents said they were against it. And the incumbent initially said he was going to stand with the residents. But when it came down to present his view on the matter in front of certain boards, he stood with the developers. You can't do that. You need to stand with the constituents. You made a promise to constituents that you weren't going to do that. Right now they're promoting this big project at Mattapan Square where the trolley station is. We didn't know anything about it. I attended the 2 meetings they had. One meeting, the first meeting they had, it was a meeting just to have an idea of what the community wanted. Mind you, at that meeting, which we didn't know, they had already had plans to build a particular big 135-unit apartment/condominium project. Not saying that we don't need apartments and condominium complex, but let's have a say whether we want it there. Okay, let's have a say and give us a voice. I mean, the people's voice is important. If we, like somebody like myself, I've been in Mattapan and Dorchester for 47 years, and 37 of it in Mattapan. Let me and my fellow neighbors, and fellow constituents, let us have a say on what takes place.
We're talking with Jovan Lacet, candidate for state representative in the 12th Suffolk district. One of the things you've also been talking about is trying to increase racial diversity on the Boston Police Department. Now, given the rules of civil service and veterans preference, what would you do?
Well, you know what? One thing we have to do, I always say, New York and California are the mother and fathers of laws. As you know, anybody who knows anything about laws knows that. New York, because of all the issues they've had, all the racial issues they had in New York for decades, New York has found a way to New York is a majority city, okay? And they found a way for their police force to reflect the city. The police force, the New York Police Department now is a majority people of color police force, okay? And California is working towards that. If these two major, in California, LA is doing that. If LA and New York City can do it, why can't Boston do it? Okay? Why do we have a police academy of about 60 to 80 recruits, and you will have about 4 or 5 people of color? Okay, and sometimes 2. As a matter of fact, by the time they graduate, you might have 3 people of color graduate. That's unfair. It's not. So you have to design the law. There's ways to do it. There's several ways. We have to look at the laws of the other states and find out how they were able to do it. Because obviously we don't have affirmative action anymore. Okay, so we just have to look at other laws. There's so many other things that takes place in other states that Massachusetts needs to follow, such as insurance, which is a big thing for my community, for the Mattapan-Dorchester community, as well as Hyde Park. But Mattapan, Dorchester, and Roxbury, they pay way too much for home insurance and car insurance. Other states have so many different ways you can have insurance under what they call the responsibility laws. Massachusetts has 2 ways: insurance bonds and traditional commercial insurance. Even small states like Rhode Island has 6 to 7 ways. In other states like New York, California, they have 10, 12 ways. Why can't we adopt some of these ways so we can save at least 50% on our insurance, monthly insurance, yearly insurance premiums? Why can't we do that?
You also have some experience on the Boston Police Department, and there have been some questions about the circumstances under which you left the department, and I guess one version is that they dismissed you.
Yes, well, of course, that's an issue at the police department. As a matter of fact, it was an issue that the Dorchester reporter raised. However, the Dorchester reporter who interviewed me, Bill Furrer, failed to state that the reason he raised that issue was because he supports Dan Conley,
I'm not asking about Bill Furrer. I'm asking about you, because it says you were dismissed and you appealed.
But he didn't tell. No. First of all, the union truly didn't represent me during my dismissal. The union took the appeal only to the civil servicing board. They did not take it to the Superior Court. Okay, and then the other thing, I didn't have any representation during that time. The other thing is, what they failed to represent, and I told Bill Forey about this, okay? And even the mayor, during my discussion with the mayor before he became mayor, I spoke to the mayor at length about my dismissal. The mayor said he was going to look into it, and he said the only reason, he told me this, okay, at a Memleo meeting they had when he was running for mayor. He said the only reason you got terminated was because you're black. If you were not black, you would not have been terminated, and I'm going to rectify that matter, okay? The mayor got in, and of course, like so many other promises he failed to fulfill, he failed to look into it and to fulfill that promise. He knows it was wrong. It was a wrongful termination. The Board of Overseers, which have a higher standard than the Boston Police Department, we know that. The Board of Overseers are the overseers of attorneys. They looked into the matter. They didn't even give me a verbal or written reprimand, okay? I was compelled. Sergeant Detective Keeler, okay, for 5 days, they had me in a little room, grilling me. I told them that it was an issue regarding whether my brother was present at a place where somebody was killed. That was the issue, whether I saw him there. I didn't see my brother there. For 5 days straight, I told him, okay? And I was a probation officer. A probation officer, they can fire you for anything. Sergeant Detective Keeler threatened my job, my Boston Police job, threatened to lock up I have younger brothers. By that time, they were in the age between 18 and 21, something like that. He threatened to claim that they committed the murder, okay, and say if I didn't say that my brother Besher was at the party, okay, our party I attended for like 3 to 5 minutes, okay, which I didn't see him, but he told me if I didn't say that, I was going to lose my attorney license, threatened to lock up my brothers, threatened my job, made so many threats. After 4 or 5 days, like I told, if you read the transcript at the trial, like I told the trial, when I told the truth, I said, if they wanted me to state I committed murder, I would have stated I committed the murder. Okay, that's why people who don't commit crime state they do. And it's not just my case. There were many cases like that Sergeant Detective Keeler compel people to lie, and the city has paid on his cases alone. Forget the $50 million the city settled wrongful prosecution cases. On Sergeant Detective Keeler cases alone, they paid over $20-something million. Okay, that's what this man, the kind of turnaround he had on solving murder cases. People don't have that. No police department have those kind of turnarounds. He has it because he was forcing people to lie. That's the issue. My termination.
If you thought of taking this to another level legally.
You know what? It takes a lot of energy, okay? Because first of all, as I told the Dutch reporter, when this came out, first of all, I had transactional immunity, so a written transactional immunity
from criminal prosecution.
The transactional immunity. If you read it, it says no forfeiture of pay, no civil prosecution, no criminal prosecution. That's what it states, and so many other things. So if they couldn't prosecute me criminally, couldn't prosecute me civilly, and forfeiture of pay means dismissal from your job, termination of your job. That's civil prosecution, and forfeiture of pay. So that in itself, if they could rightfully terminate me, they could have criminally prosecuted me. Okay. And the Dutch reporter brought up about the DA's office investigating. The DA's office wasn't investigating me. The DA's office was investigating Sergeant Detective Keeler, okay? There's cops who's on the job today, also in all those jobs, and also had opportunity to retire on other occasions, where they were criminally prosecuted, and they are still on the job, okay? Still wearing the badge. So this thing about the spokesperson who spoke to the who spoke to the Dutch reporter saying that they terminated because something about my ability to tell the truth. Please, Keeler. They allowed Keeler to retire so many years after this incident happened. Mind you, after this incident happened, he lost his job as the lead homicide detective. They shipped him to D4 as a regular sergeant D4 because of the lie that came out of that situation. He should have been terminated. I should have been terminated. Chris, you understand the system. I mean, it's true. It's a constitutional law issue. Not any, but a great attorney can review my matter and appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court, and I can obtain my job back. There's no question that may happen one day. It's just that my energy today is making sure something like that doesn't happen to somebody else, because it continues to happen to folks of color and other folks. All the biases against gays, people of color. It has to stop. Massachusetts has to. We claim we're a liberal state. okay, a true liberal progressive state, let's be a true liberal progressive state. When we see bad things like this happen, when we see the Deutsches reporter, okay, the Mattapan reporter who doesn't cover my race. I lived in Mattapan for over 37 years out of 45 years I lived in Mattapan, Dorchester. The Haitian reporter, they don't cover it. However, they're getting all kind of grants from the city and state. They're getting, money, and they're not covering these elections. They have no coverage. We don't have a voice. We don't have a voice, Chris. And there's things that needs to take place. And there's the illegal foreclosures. Nobody's talking about it. They're stealing all people. We have these seniors who are losing homes to illegal foreclosures, and also seniors who are in nursing homes. Okay, I'm learning all this while I'm running. These politicians knew about this. They take their homes, the senior homes, the homes where the seniors go. They take their homes and sell and give the seniors something anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 for the homes, and give it to the investors, sell it to the investors, and the investors turn around and spend like $25,000 to $50,000 and sell that home for $300,000 to $500,000. That's not fair.
What would you do about it?
What would I do about it? First of all, I would work with the Attorney General's office to prosecute anybody who were involved in that, because that's illegal, that's wrong, okay? And second, I would issue laws that state, you know what? When these seniors, if you put a lien on the senior home, okay, because they've been in a nursing home, okay, you have the right to do so. The law allows you to do so. However, if you're going to take the home, you have to make sure the senior is. If you're going to take the home, you have to make sure the senior is properly compensated for the home. Okay, so the estate, the senior, or the senior's family can receive the balance of what the senior owns on that home. And also, there should be other ways. You should automatically be able to take that senior homes. There's so many things. You just had Chris Ross here who spoke about the foreclosures.
Jeff Ross,
Jeff Ross,
right.
who spoke about the foreclosures in Massachusetts. Just the way the foreclosures in Massachusetts take place is illegal. You run into land court and file a petition, and you should have to go to Superior Court. Okay, you should have to go to Superior Court just like any other action. When somebody pulls the case out of land court into Superior Court, the homeowner has to do that, guess what these big banks do? They even take it to a higher level. They take it to federal court. So why should the banks be able to walk into land court? There's so many things that needs to be done, but guess what? We don't have a true voice. We don't have a true voice in the 12th Suffolk, and sadly, in some other places in Massachusetts, and it was all in Boston, who's going to advocate for this. But you know what? With me as an attorney, 19-year practicing attorney, who knows about this, who lives some of these issues, okay? These concerns of the constituent of the 12th Suffolk, and the 12th Suffolk behind me, because like I told everybody else who wanted me to run, and all the door knocking we've been doing, when I talk to the constituents, to the registered voters, and non-registered voters, the residents, they want me to do X, Y, and Z. I tell them, with them behind me, with them at the State House, when we presenting these legislating these laws and these policies, okay, to better the community and to better all of Boston and the surrounding communities, we can make this happen.
Well, finally, I have to ask you, if people want to find out more about your campaign, they have a website or a Facebook page they can check out?
Yes, if people want to check out my website, it's www.lacet.us. So it's www.lacet.us. Excuse me. They can call my cell phone, because we do need some more help. I mean, we are not paid, unlike the incumbent who has 307,000 and paying people. We're not paying people. We have volunteers, so they can call me directly at 617-593-5593. That is 617-593-5593. And just slightly in terms of this Boston Police termination matter, which you presented, what we should discuss today. If they really want to know what happened, go look at pull up the history's there. Pull up the transcript to the grand jury testimony as well as the trial testimony, and also look at the memorandum rebuttal that they've done that I believe the Deutsche Reporter has refused to print as a rebuttal to their story. Okay, look at that. Don't judge me. Because you know what? And one thing, and it backfired on Deutsche Reporter, because many people like yourself have read that story. Just some people. A lot of people don't even read the Deutsche Reporter because it's not true news. You know that. Anyway, the people who have read it,
that about a lot of media too.
Well, you know what? And the people who have read it, it's not true news, because if you don't cover how can I be living in Mattapan? And there's a Mattapan reporter, okay, and there's a Haitian reporter, and I'm from Haiti. I was born in Haiti, came in at age of 4, and the Mattapan reporter and the Haitian reporter is not covering this election. Does that make any sense? So that's not a true.
Well,
that's
we're covering, so that's what. And
I appreciate that.
Okay.
But anyway, but they can see, but things need to be done. They should be the member rebuttal.
In terms of community papers, Jovan, I mean, if you look at the city, this is one of the better papers. And we don't get it 100% right all the time, but this is a very good paper. But thank you very much for being with us.
We do have some good papers. I think the Bay State Banner, all the different gazettes, okay, the Jamaica Plain Gazette, the Milton Time, we have some excellent papers, okay? And they're covering these races. What I'm saying though about the 12th Suffolk, because I'm running in the 12th Suffolk, Chris. Okay, so my concern is, I care about Boston and Massachusetts overall, but my concern is the 12th Suffolk. The Mattapan Reporter, the Haitian Reporter covers the 12th Suffolk. Where is the news, sir? Please, people are asking, where's the news about the community? All they do, all the Dutch Reporter does,
they have more community news than most of the other weeklies that I've seen around. But anyhow, that's our time, but thank you very much for being with us. Jovan Lacet, candidate for state representative in the 12th Suffolk District.